Coming up on this episode of Tom Talks Rubbish.
He's been my co-host for 5 years on this thing, but like my friendship with him is way more important than him being my co-host. So like it's like when we chat, like yes, and I think we've been doing it for so long that like we have an idea. We throw a few things out throughout the week. Hey, let's this that, but like we have an idea of what we're doing every Thursday when we show up. Like we know what we're gonna do, right? Because we've been doing it for so long. So like my friendship to him is more important than him being my co-host. So when we chat, it's more of like, no, I'm just talking to this is my friend.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Tom Talks Rubbish, and today, I feel like I've got to say this for the intro. I am between two beards for another fantastic episode. I'm joined by the one and only Pluggo and Mr. JPJ from Between Two Beards on Love Wrestling. So welcome back on the show, my friends.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We're glad to be back. I think
absolutely
we're back on together, how it should be.
Yes,
definitely.
100%.
So if we take this back, guys, we've talked about your individual fandoms and things like that. But from both of your perspectives, because I'm curious to see if like one of you goes, wait, no, that's not how it happened. How did Between Two Beards start, if that makes sense?
Well, it was Mania so Love Wrestling started January 1st, 2021. So we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary, Love Wrestling. I had hopped on a couple months after that, maybe like late February, early March. And then that was the year of WrestleMania 2021, which was the first time they were going back outdoors after COVID and all that stuff. And we were bringing on new people because we wanted a lot of people to cover Mania, and Pluggo was one of them. And we didn't follow each other. I had never, we didn't know each other at all. And we just ended up working. I think it was night 1 of Mania. We ended up working.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, we did a post show together with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, and I think he felt the same, but we vibed pretty well in the show. And then maybe like a couple days later, a week later, I just messaged him and I was like, hey, man, I dug your vibe. I think you and I could do something fun if you have any ideas or whatnot. And then.
Which I had no ideas, but I told him absolutely, and I ghosted him for like a week. Yeah, only because I didn't have ideas. Because when I joined Love Wrestling, I was like, well, I'm not going to join this thing and not do as much stuff as possible. So like, I ended up on that stream with him by happenstance, and then he's like, "You got any ideas?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, we should definitely think about it." And then like, I just didn't have anything, and so then like he messages me like a week later. He's like, "Hey, so you think of anything?" And I was like, yeah, man, I got some stuff. And I was like, what about this? We do something kind of kooky. At the time, Thursday nights was dead night in wrestling. And I was like, what if we just did something like we had a bunch of people at the time that were doing coverage of all the shows and breaking things down. I said, I just kind of want to talk whatever. Like it doesn't have to have a rhyme or a reason to it. And then we came up with Between Two Beards, and here we are, almost 5 years later now.
Yeah, we're approaching our this summer, I think, or late spring, early summer will be our 5-year anniversary of doing beards. We're approaching our 250th episode, so it's kind of it's just kind of been I felt crazy. Good. Yeah, it's been crazy we've had a lot of good people that we've become friends with. You're one of them. Like it's just been a good ride, and I think we're both excited about what 2026 is going to look like and things like that. We've had some great opportunities over the last year and a half together and individually as well through this. So it's been a fun ride, even though he wears Lakers hats and tries to get me angry and stuff like that.
I was just about to ask about the rivalries and the differences and sort of things. So you mentioned
there you go, bud.
Obviously, the very similar, but very different in certain places. So what was it for you, JPJ, that was like, I want to work with this guy. Like, this guy is good.
I just feels the same way now.
You know, I dug his vibe. Like I said, we were on a post show. There was like 5 or 6 of us, so it wasn't like it was just him and I going back and forth the whole time. But I just felt like, I felt like we were not similar because I do think we have our difference, but like I felt like we had the same vibe. We were having fun. I just felt like in that moment, I was like, if I knew who this guy was, I feel like we'd be friends. Mm-hmm. And that was just kind of the vibe I got. And I was like,
was it like, and this reference might go over your head, but as a movie guy, I love this reference. Was it Step Brothers? Did we just become best friends? Sort of reference.
It was pretty quick. I felt like it was
pretty quick. We hit the ground running pretty quick with Beards, and just kind of like when we started bouncing ideas off of one another, like you could tell that both of us were kind of aligned in the same like idea spirit. Like if there's ever been an idea that was too ridiculous, and most of the time those are mine, he has a way to reel it back in for me, or like he has a way to like we refine it so it works for both of us. So like you could kind of tell when we were putting the show together, because there was no real idea. The idea kind of was, we're going to talk about professional wrestling here at Love Wrestling, but if we decide to go down a rabbit hole and talk about football, or if we decide to talk about something anything, random, really. Like we're just going to have a set kind of like a unplanned an outline of what we want to do, but if it goes in another direction, we're cool with it. And like I said, like it just felt like we both at the same time were like hitting this right, and it seems to have worked. We're still doing it. I'd say I think it's going pretty well.
Yeah,
and people seem to dig it. Spencer, we got to shout out Spencer for always just letting us hey, we would present him ideas early on, and we've got to the point now where he just trusts that what we're gonna do on Thursday nights from 8 to 10 is gonna be solid, and like he's never really ever and said, hey, don't do that, because he knows that we're going to do the right thing.
Correct. And I think that was kind of essential, just having that, knowing pretty early on that he had that faith in us, and he knew like, hey, you guys do some out of the box stuff, but you do it like in a way where it's respect, like it's the way that he just had that trust in us pretty early on. And I think that allowed us to take some chances early on. Not that we don't anymore, but like early on we did, like we had drafts at the end of every episode where we would talk about cereal and like just random things, and we would do bits, and like, we would have like LPW guys that were feuding with each other like we would promote the show, we would like just kind of
we'd have wrestlers talking trash to the boss, or we did like a cool runnings movie night, like
brings to mind Pluggo.
So like
just like early on in his show, taking those kind of shots, taking those chances, and diving in, like especially with the LPW guys, which was Spencer's new baby mixed with us, and we're like, hey, we want to talk shit to these guys, and have it somehow become part of the promotion for your main show. And for him to go, go for it, is pretty cool, because like he could have been very protective of like, no, I don't want that to mix with this, but he understood that we knew the best ways to do it, and then it just kind of spiraled into what it's become today. It's just chaos on Thursdays, I guess.
You mentioned the chaos on Thursdays there. How did it feel then, a few months ago as we record this, when your co-host on Dynamite Up, JPJ, is out on assignment, and then Pluggo becomes your co-host for the evening? So how is that different, that dynamic different, when you actually are reviewing something, whereas it's just like shooting the breeze normally, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a little bit more, I'm not going to think of the word because I'm not a smart individual, but it's a little bit more like...
Streamlined?
Yeah, streamlined. Like, and we went, and Pluggo's helped me out on a lot of things. He's joined me on a watch along for Raw on the Hive when I do that every Monday night. So like me and Pluggo have sprinkled, like Beards is its own thing. We've known from the beginning kind of, hey, look, we're going to cover wrestling, but we don't want to be like a lot of other shows. We just want to freeform it. We're going to jump around. We're going to be goofy. We're going to rag on each other. We're going to, this is what we do over here. And then it's like, all right, well, Dynamite Up is clearly a review show of so like we still had that
We saw that rapport with one another, and people know. But for me personally, like if JPJ calls me up and he says, "Hey, I want you to do Dynamite up because Jose's unavailable," I'm not going to bring the same craziness that I would bring to a Beards to that because it's not my house. But I will. We'll still have our fun. We'll still be us. But that's a review show, so I'm going to come with my notes. I'm going to come prepared. We're going to talk about Dynamite. That's what we're there for. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I approach it when I get invited onto shows, doing other shows. But when we have guest hosts come into Between Two Beards, let's say I have to be on some. There's some Thursdays, especially in the summertime. My kids at baseball or track or field or whatever it may be, so I'm unavailable. Most of our guest hosts, they don't replicate what we do, but they completely understand that they can come in. And anytime JPJ's been out, anytime I brought in Jose or Taryn from accounting, Warren Hayes, any of those people we brought in, they understand what they're getting into. So they definitely lean into having a lot more fun over there. So that it works both ways.
How would you approach a full exposure appearance, Jay, if Pluggo said, come on for exposure?
I mean, I would have to do a lot of research. I am very open about the fact that independent wrestling is just not on my wrestling radar. There is only so much time during the week for me to watch what we watch, to cover all the different things that I do, like obviously with him and then elsewhere where I do stuff. Plus I have him and I both have full-time shoot jobs that take up a lot of our time, especially these last couple months in the retail business and holiday time. And,
we're recording this in January, guys, just to put this up.
So
I've just ended now. It's still
exactly. So now is like the slow time for retail workers, but it's still it's just really not what it is. There is no slow time. It's a very demanding part, type of work, but and he's got 4 kids, like he said, and in the summertime they're doing sports and activity, and he's a great dad. So we have stuff, so for me, I can only watch a certain, I can only watch a certain amount of thing. But obviously I keep tabs. I know who the big independent wrestlers are. If he needed me to fill in and he was like, hey, we're going to be talking about these things, I do the work, and I would make sure I was up to par, ready to go to do that, whether I was asked by him or, anybody,
I think that speaks pretty highly of what I love about JPJ is he can do pretty much anything. You put it in front of him, he's going to knock it out. Same. That's why I think we work so well together. And it is flattering when people are like, oh, you should do more shows together. Or why don't you, but it's because we have such a great thing going. And if I needed him for 4 exposure one, I'm sure he could knock it out of the park. I mean, heck, I don't even watch all of the independent wrestling in the world because it's impossible to do. But if I said we're talking GCW, I'm sure JPJ could come up with some Effie takes.
No, of course.
Because he's that good, man.
I think the biggest thing about Jay, and we'll put Pluggo over in a second, is
no, we don't have to do that. That's fine. Keep talking about me. We can keep talking about me.
To peel the curtain back, guys, there was a timing issue, shall we say? Jay, did you read the message wrong, or did I send it wrong?
I have been deathly ill all week, so I have been medicated, and I had to get through our show this past Thursday on fumes because I was dying ill. So there's a good chance I just glossed over and I thought I read the message, but I completely didn't. So I was like, "Oh, we're doing this at 6 p.m. All right, cool."
But I meant 6 p.m. UK. Like 1 p.m. your time, guys.
Yeah, 1 p.m.
He just thought you were being super nice. UK, like, are you okay, bud? I know you're feeling good.
Yeah, no. I get you. But to peel the curtain back, that just shows how quickly you can get ready for a show. Do you know what I mean?
I literally was right out this door. Pluggo was like, "It's right now." I said, "Give me a minute." I threw on the hoodie. All right. Let's go. Ready to go. Boom.
Yeah.
So
always ready, baby.
I love that.
I am the Matt Cardona of the podcasting business.
It's gonna suck when he gets signed to the big dogs and I'm all sitting here by myself.
I doubt it.
Between one beer, it's just me crying for an hour and a half.
Never. You mentioned it's gonna suck if one of us gets signed to a big place there. Have you guys thought about say Body Slam took off for you, Jay, or others for Pluggo and things like that? If they said we want to offer you this full time, would you be like, Pluggo, okay, I'm going to get a new co-host? Or would you be like, nope, podcast over.
I like how he said others for Pluggo, because I ain't got no others.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
No, we have talked about it. Not in any like detailed length, but the idea is, and the goal is to keep Between Two Beards going for as long as we possibly can. If for whatever reason I think it ever came to an end, I don't think it would be like next week on Between Two Beards, JPJ has, Tom, no offense, Tom, or Pluggo's bringing in whoever. I think because it's been something that we've built from the ground up. It's been our baby for 5 years. We've gotten to do. It would be weird for me to go, I'm going to keep Between Two Beards going if JPJ left me for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I would be happy for him 100%. But I also would never want to keep trying to replicate something that we did. I think it would just be a period of time that we would put a bow on and call it a day.
Yeah, and like, obviously the goal, when we've always said it, him and I have always talked about it, I'm like, it would be rad if this became a full-time thing. Like, if I knew that I could talk to this guy for a few hours a day, every day, on a whatever radio station, podcasting network, whatever, I know that we would do what we do and we would crush it. And like, even if something were, and he doesn't talk about himself as highly as he should. He does a lot of stuff. Sometimes, like, he does as equal, if not more stuff than I do. And I feel like I do a ton of stuff. And, he works his ass off and he's great. And he does a lot of stuff behind the scenes at Between Two Beards that, most, if not all, of the social media stuff you see, that's all him. Like, he does that. He does all the graphics and he does, that's the stuff that we don't talk about like a lot, but he does all that stuff, which I simply couldn't do the way that he does, So like, I don't know. I think even if something were to go for me, for him, for, whatever, I would still try to make sure, like, all right, cool, this opportunity's here for me. Like, I'm going to go take this opportunity, but I need Thursday nights at 8 p.m. free because I got a thing I need to do that I'm not going to stop doing. You know what I mean? And obviously I would vouch and be like, can he just come with me? But if it's not if one of us, or I'm, theoretically, if I'm signing somewhere, that I'm signing for another company, I would vouch and be like, I would like to, can we do this? But if they're like, no, okay, well, I work for you, so I'm not. I only have a certain amount of pull. But I would say, like, well, I'm unavailable Thursday nights. I'm unavailable because I have a prior.
We could move nights if they said Thursday.
Like that. That's how I view it. That's how I view it. It's like I would be like, oh well, I have this that this is my thing that I am still gonna. I'm not stopping this. So that's kind of how I view it.
What about you, Pluggo? Are you?
I'm in the same boat with him. Like I said, like if push came to shove and it had to end, it would end. But the idea would be to like keep it going and try to do it together and try to go places together and do the same, whatever it may be. Like I think he said it best. Like I think we would definitely try to keep it going. We've been at this for so long, and it's been our favorite thing that we do. So yeah, like that'd be crazy, right?
Oh yeah,
that'd be crazy, Tom, for me to be like, sorry.
All
JPJ,
we need,
please.
all we need is just a radio station somewhere to be like, give these guys a daily show. I'll do 10 to 2. I'll do 2 to 6. I'll do early morning. I don't care.
Yeah, we'll get up early.
We can talk about everything. We can talk about sports. We can talk about wrestling. We can talk about anything.
Yeah.
So that's all we need. That's all we need.
Listen, bust it open. We're ready, man.
Yeah,
we're
dude, you need someone to do the 1 a.m.
Been on Busted Open yet? I don't know.
You want somebody to do the 1 a.m.
You have to ask Dave. I don't know.
I'll do the overnight. I don't care. I'll do the overnight. I'm ready.
Something he talks about there is always being ready and things like that. And for both of you, when opportunities come, but obviously that comes with burnout and things like that, maybe. So how do you deal with like each other's burnout and hyping each other up when maybe, like you said, the shoot job, Jay, is kicking your butt and things like that? How do you deal with sort of hyping each other up for the show if one's like, okay, here we go? Not, you know what I'm saying, don't you?
You want me to take that one?
If you want,
take that one.
You can go.
I would say that in any good partnership, it's not always 50-50, right? Like he said, there's a days that JPJ said Thursday, hey man, I'm dying. I'm having the flu. I'm dying. I need you to carry the load. So I know before the show even starts, okay, I might have to take a few more reads, or I might have to take a few more leads on some questions. If we have a guest that night and I'm not feeling it, hey JPJ, man, like I'm not that I'm not feeling the guest or I'm just having a rough day, but like, hey, like today's not my day, dude. And then he'll know to like, we've been working together so long that we can kind of tell when each other's having one of those days. Because if you do, we've not missed an episode in 5 years. We've maybe had to move. We've had to move a day twice. We've had to record, obviously, due to holidays, but we've never missed an episode. So in that 5 years, that comes with, one of us will assuredly be there every Thursday. I know there's been a few times it hasn't, but that's part of it. You just know, like, hey, he's not feeling today, so today's I'm going to be a little bit more on. I'll make sure I ask a couple more questions with the guests just to get him through and things like that. But the burnout side of it, it comes, it goes. We've both been through it. I think we've both struggled and been like, it's just, I don't know if we got it today, but we pulled through. Once that red light turns on, we know that we've got a service that we got to give to not only ourselves, but our fans, that our community that comes and watches us. That's what they're there for every Thursday night. Come hell or high water, we're going to be there for them, and they're there for us. So that's why we do it.
Yeah. And look, I attack it the same way I attack my regular job. Like I have burnout at my regular job too. Like I attack it the same way. It's like, yeah, all right. It's been a rough week. I'm tired, or I've been sick, or I've just been doing a lot. But like Pluggo said, we have an obligation on Thursday nights from 8 to 10 to give the viewer what they expect from us. And I think, there's weeks where he's been sick and he's had to call in sick. There's weeks where I've been sick and I've had to call in sick, and we find somebody, one of, our Rolodex of lucky people that we get to call friends and stuff like that. Like we figure it out and we make sure that we show up for the people that show up in the chat every week. I think, some weeks, are harder than others, depending on what we got going on in real life. Cause real life sometimes it's not, you just have a week. You just have a week. You're going through stuff, whatever. And you need the other one to lift you up. There's been times where I've shown up and I said, hey, we got this guest on. It's an independent wrestler. My week has been insane. I didn't get to do as much research on this person as I normally did. And Pluggo's like, I got you. And he'll lead the questions most of the time. And then I can kind of do my thing where I can weave in and kind of turn it into other questions that I feel comfortable. Okay, cool. Let's do this, and then it's just how we go. And
it's important to talk about it too. We got to make sure we communicate that with each other.
Yeah. And I think we're pretty good about it. And I think we check in on each other too. Like, we show up a little bit before the show, obviously, and we at least chat for 10, 15 minutes or something like that. And I think that if one of us feels like the other one is off, or I think we're just good about just being like, oh man, like this is how, it's been a week, or today was insane. I think we're just good about communicating, and that's really what you need. Because if you're not communicating and you don't know, it's just you're not going to be able to figure it out.
You mentioned communicating there and things like that. How much do you two you're not like tag teams in WWE where it's like they don't communicate between shows, if that makes sense. How much do you guys communicate sort of in the week, if that makes sense?
I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like we keep tabs during the week, but we aren't like we're not constantly talking about the show when we communicate. Like I feel like, because like I said, he does a lot of stuff. He does a lot of content on his own channels. He does for exposure. He always pops on other people's shows if he's given the opportunity and stuff like that. And then I have so, we have other things we focus on through the week too. So it's like, obviously Beards I think both of us is our main baby. It's what it's our main thing. So like, we keep tabs. Like yesterday we communicated about, hey, this person's going to come on in a few weeks, whatever, we do things like that, but it's not, our conversation is not, it's not solely about Beards. We'll talk about other things throughout the week too. When it comes down to it, as long as we know, and that's kind of been the structure of the show, and it's kind of, and we've gotten so good at what we do, if we could toot our own horn,
that we don't have to daily conversate about what we want to do. Maybe early on we were like making sure as we felt each other out, like what we were doing. But now it's like we know we can show up 15 minutes before a show. Here's what we're doing. Here's how we're going to attack it. And we know we're going to put on a good show. But yeah, we talk. I mean, like, this is my brother, man. Like, for better or for worse, come hell or high water. Like, I know it's not always in 5 years. It would be crazy for me to say that we haven't ever, disagreed on something, but like at the end of the day, we both are aligned in what we want to do, and like so the communication's there. And I mean, it doesn't always have to be about wrestling. We just say, "What's up, man? What's going on today?"
Yeah, and kind of leaning into that, like, Pluggo is my co-host. He's been my co-host for 5 years on this thing, but like my friendship with him is way more important than him being my co-host. So like it's like when we chat, like, yes, and I think we've been doing it for so long that like we have an idea. We throw a few things out throughout the week. Hey, let's this, that. But like we have an idea of what we're doing every Thursday when we show up. Like we know what we're going to do, right? Because we've been doing it for so long. So like my friendship to him is more important than him being my co-host. So when we chat, it's more of like, no, I'm just talking to this is my friend. This is my best friend. Like, this is one of my best friends. This is my guy. Right. So it's like, that's just how, and then when we sprinkle in, all right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Cool. But like the friendship, I feel like is the base of what allows us to, what you see on Thursday nights and how we interact with each other and how we are with each other. That's because we're friends.
You're not just friends when the camera goes on.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like we might ramp up the banter a little bit.
Of course, turn it up to 11.
Generally speaking, spending time with JPJ that I've spent with him, traveling and doing these things, like that's why we operate usually when we're together. It's the same conversation, so we just put it on YouTube for everybody to watch.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that we always spoke about when I had you guys on individually was meeting in person and things like that. So take me back to the Royal Rumble of, was it 2025 or 2024? I always get it wrong. It was 2024.
So we
met in Cleveland in 2024. We did the Rumble in 2025.
Yeah. So the first time we ever met was in SummerSlam 2024 in Cleveland. That was the first time we ever met.
My bad.
And then we did the Rumble in 2025. So we did those two things, but the first time was SummerSlam in 2024.
Which I thought he was going to be taller.
Yeah. That's what most people say. I am tiny. I am a tiny fella.
I will say.
I always tell people I grew the wrong way.
The beard grew out, but the legs maybe not so much.
Yeah. But that was the first time, and I think, I think the anticipation was clearly there. Yeah, he showed up he drove because it wasn't far from where he lived. So I flew in. So I was there most of the day. So I kind of experienced a little bit of downtown. Like I found a brewery. I had some lunch. I had a few beers. I got to the Airbnb where we were staying. I kind of checked in and was chilling out. And then he came later on in the evening. Yeah, so when he pulled
11:30,
it was late because I think he worked the day of, and then he had to pack or something happened.
My son rescheduled my son's final.
That's what it was.
All-Star game for that day, and I'm a coach, and I just didn't want to not be there for it. And even though everybody said I could have missed it for this, but so I got in there super late.
Yeah, and so he pops in, and like I obviously like go out back to meet him and stuff, and he gets out of the car and he goes, "Oh my God, he's real." And it's like that type of thing, and we hugged and that was it. And then we went inside and we were like, wow, and we recorded a couple videos for social media of like us meeting each other. And
it's weird though. It was weird. It was cool. It was awesome. Don't get me wrong, but it is weird when you sit on screen with somebody 2-3 times a week for
at that point, 3.5, almost 4 years or whatever,
never meeting each other.
Yeah.
And then you finally meet in person and it's like, oh, this is a real thing. This is a real tangible person here.
So we turn the Zoom link off, if you know what I'm saying, a few times.
Well, because everybody that had up to that point had been like, I'm surprised you guys haven't met. You're not, how are you guys?
I've always said that.
Real life friends. Like your guys' chemistry is really good. You feel like you've known each other forever. And it's like, no, like Cleveland is the first time that we met. So then we did the Cleveland run. We did the Indianapolis run and then we did Boston. I went to Boston to hang out with him for Bound for Glory. So like we got to do some cool stuff together. Hopefully in 2026 we could take another trip. I just got some new luggage.
Yes.
I don't have to take my spaceman luggage out anymore, JPJ.
I like it.
I got real luggage now.
Yeah, he got real luggage. Yeah, Santa treated him good. Santa treated him good.
Apparently, I have to look like a professional, I guess.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
I'd love you guys to do a trip to the UK. I'm not gonna lie. I know that.
Listen. That would be. I mean, look. Ideally, I would love to go anywhere, but I think the last 2 years we've been lucky and we've been able to at least do, one trip, if not a couple trips together. So I feel like we kind of have a goal of like, hey, we should try to at least once, wherever it can be. If we can do more, great. Ideally, in a perfect world, we build to where we get to do it all the time. But at least let's try to get one trip a year where we can go cover a show and put out some cool content. And then we kind of build off of that. We've already had small discussions of some events that might be possible over the next couple months and things. So I think, we've been doing this for 5 years and we're very proud of what we've done for 5 years. But I think we both are like, okay, how do we continue to elevate? Like 5 years is a good achievement. It's a big achievement. We're proud of what we've done, but like, how do we take what we've done after the last 5 years and elevate ourselves so the next 5 years are, even crazier and bigger than the crazy stuff we've already gotten to do.
That's really, really cool. I want to thank you guys because you've always been so cool to me. Like, you really have. Like, you don't need to be. I'm just a guy that's on his laptop on a Zoom link. You don't need to call me.
Yeah, but that's all we are. That's all we are. We're not different than you.
Yeah, you're the man, Tom. You've always been so good to us, and well, that's another thing too. Like that we've talked about is we always want, if we can make it work, we want to give time to anybody that wants to talk to us because, like you said, we're just guys on a Zoom link, just like you. Yeah, we've done a couple of things that are pretty awesome in the space, but at the end of the day, like everybody, we're all trying to do the same thing. So if we can make time for anybody, especially you, Tom, anytime you need us, man, we always make time for you.
I want to talk about my favorite night of my podcasting career for a second. This involves you two. I tweeted this out the other day. I don't know if you saw it. The Sean Ross Sapp podcast that I ended up crashing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Did he crash that or did you crash that?
I think it was your. Yeah, it was one or the other. Sean's a great guy. We've gotten to meet him in person a few times at the cool, and he was a guy that when we started the show, that was kind of like right after the explosion of Fightful and his stature and stuff. And he's always been good with us. Whenever we reached out, we've reached out to be like, hey, can you make a video shitting on Spencer, or can you do this or do that?
Spencer showed up as well.
Yeah. And like we helped build the rivalry of SRS and Shaza McKenzie when they were building to their stuff. We had Shaza cut a promo on him, and then he came on our show to talk crap about her. Like, we're always, and he's been very awesome with his time. He doesn't do a lot of things outside of Fightful. The fact that whenever we've kind of reached out, and I know he did your show too, like whenever we've reached out to him to be like, hey, if you got the time, man, like this would be dope. And
I think on that show, we just asked him for like, hey, if you have like 2 minutes, and he gave us like a solid like 15.
Yeah. And I don't even think
his world is huge.
And like Thursdays at the time were like, and he was very open about like his only day off or one of his only days off. And like, I don't even think we asked him to be on the show. I think we asked him for another video. And then he was like, I'll have some time. I can hop on for 15 or 20 minutes. And he ended up staying for like almost a half hour.
Jimmy Van interview was going up as well. And he promoted that on your stream as well. Memory serves.
He's a great dude. He's a great guy. He's always been good to us. He's always been really good to us. And, all the people, Joel, Jeremy, all those guys, SP3, all the people that we've been lucky enough to meet, Kate, they've always treated us really well, and they've always put us over for some reason. They must like us or something. I don't know. But they've always put us over. I
think it's you. They like you and your beard.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
They're like, Pluggo's got to come too.
But they've always been good to us, and they've always been good to Love Wrestling. Like Spencer and Sean knew each other before Love Wrestling. Even like we've always been really friendly, and it's been a nice little friendship that we built. Like Love Wrestling and Fightful as a whole, but even we've been lucky. So
Speaking of lucky, guys, I feel very lucky to get to do this today. Like, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it today.
Absolutely, anytime.
Anytime, man. We love it. We feel
you
asked us.
Yeah.
Talking for 40 minutes, and I do want to be respectful of your time, fellas. I'm not going to lie.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man, this is good.
So I want to talk about sort of like your advice for people who maybe want to do a show but feel like they need a co-host. How do you know when you've clicked with someone? Like you mentioned JPJ, that you knew instantly this was a guy that I wanted to do something with, and same with you, Pluggo. So what is your advice for anyone that's trying to build chemistry with their co-host and things like that?
You got to be honest.
Yeah. You gotta be honest with what you want. Yeah.
Yep. And I think, sorry, go ahead. You go first.
Oh, you go.
I was going to say, like Pluggo said earlier, we had an idea of what we wanted the show to be, but like we never had like a full on, like we had an idea, but I wouldn't say we had like a plan. Like we knew what we wanted. We knew we wanted it to have a certain flow. We knew what we wanted to talk about. We knew we wanted to jump around. And I feel like if we didn't take the time, like, you know, it was, hey, I think we could vibe together. If you want to do something, let me know. And then he did ghost me for a week and a half or 2 weeks. And and then he finally reached out and he was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking.
Really
what do you think? And then it was, okay. And we took the time. We didn't rush to be like, all right, let's get on air as soon as we can. We took a little bit of time. Like, okay, let's talk about what we want to do. All right, let's find a good name that vibes. What do we want the show to look like? Blah, blah, blah. My biggest advice to people as far as doing content, if you want to do content, just do it. Just do it. Whether it's alone, and he's better doing it alone than he does a lot more stuff by himself than I do. I've started dabbling in the solo stuff, and I feel like I'm kind of getting a hold.
I'm just pointing that out.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I just started doing the solo stuff too, just because I knew like I wanted to get better at that. But he's not wrong in the content space. Like, and I've said this on your show before. Like, just do it. Like, the quality of the content is subjective, right? But if you don't put anything out there, there's nothing to judge. So I like to with the co-host thing. We talked on a couple of Zoom links and we had some conversations. Like you said, like we met at a Mania stream, and then we didn't start a show till May or so. So we took about a month and a half to really talk about some things and really figure out some things. Then we had to talk with Spencer and Zach and get that kind of vibe going. So if you're going to bring a co-host in, it's got to be somebody that you like talking to, that you genuinely could see yourself talking to for an hour or two, weekly, daily, whatever you want to do. But on the content side, just make it. Like, put it out there, take the feedback you get and tweak it. Like, I put out videos. I just start running with ideas. Just put it out there.
Yeah.
Some things hit, some things don't. But just be authentic to you. Put out stuff that you want to do and that you like doing, and hope that audience finds you. Don't put out stuff that you think other people are going to enjoy. Because then you're just working for them. You should be doing
whether it's sports, video game, whether you're streaming video games, whether you're doing whatever, most likely the people aren't going to stay because of how good of a video game player you are or how much. They're going to stay for you. They're going to stay for who you are and your vibe and you. So you have to be authentic. If you're trying to be somebody that you, like Pluggo said, if you're trying to be somebody that you think, oh, I'll fit in here if I do this way, or people will view me or like me if I do it this way, they're not going to, because they're going to know, people are going to know you're not being authentic. They're going to see the authenticity in who you are, and people stay for you. People stay for you. They don't stay necessarily. They might stay for a certain subject you're talking about or whatever, but they're not staying because of the stuff you're talking about. They're staying because they like you.
Yeah, like our fans.
I feel like that's what you need to do.
Our fans don't leave our stream because we're not talking about the rest holds and the move sets and all the wrestling matches, right? If we go on if we go down a rabbit hole because we want to talk about a movie or something, people stay because they know that that's what we do, and we'll get back to the wrestling, right? Like, they're like, oh, these guys are going off topic again. I'm out. Maybe some people have left because of that, but our hardcore fan base has stayed. So, just do what makes you happy. Find somebody that you click with, and if, like you said, you got to communicate with that, talk it out, and then it'll all fall into place, man.
It should.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool, guys.
Don't get discouraged. If anybody sees this, don't get discouraged by low views early. We didn't have the greatest views early either. We did pretty good. We got pretty lucky that they caught like early on though when you're a new show, right? But now all of a sudden we know consistently throughout we've been one of the top viewed shows on Love Wrestling, so we know. But there's that couple of weeks here and there where you have like some rough views. Don't get down on it. It just happens. It happens to everybody. Nobody hits it 100% out of the park. That's what I'm saying. Keep going.
No.
This question's really self-indulgent, but I'm going to ask it anyway because you're my friends. You've been on this show 3-4 times now. Where have you seen me improve? What do you want to see me improve, etc.?
I mean, you've always been kind of a stud to me.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
I was a fan and following you long before you ever asked me to be on this show. So yeah, so I think you've always done kind of good work. I would say, if honestly, I just feel like you need to not be as hard on yourself as you get sometimes.
Yeah,
that's all. That's about it. I don't think you. Yeah,
go
ahead,
man, no, I say you're the man, Tom. You always take the time out of your day to make sure that everybody that you have on feels important, and you let them have the runway. You're very good at letting them have that runway, dude. So keep it up. And like he said, don't be so hard on yourself. You're a badass, dude.
Yeah,
you're killing it, Tom.
Really appreciate that, guys.
Come on, man.
As we look at wrapping this up, I want to talk about success and your legacy and things like that. So to sort of flip the question to how I normally do, if I was to ask you, JPJ, is Pluggo's career as a success, and how should Pluggo define success? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, he, like I said, he does a lot of stuff behind the scenes for us and a lot of stuff in general for him, like on his other stuff. Like I can't imagine doing half the stuff that he does that people don't see. So for me, yeah, I mean, I think he's successful. I wouldn't be where I am without him. And, I wouldn't probably even be in this space without him. So, I mean, he's essential to me. He's my best friend. So like, I think, I view him and I view him and, and like he said, sometimes we butt heads, sometimes we disagree, but like, we're like brothers and best friends. Like it's going to happen. That's part of relationships, no matter what they are. But like, I look at him and he aspires me to be better. He aspires me to show up. So that's just kind of how I view it, even though sometimes he wears stupid hats.
Yeah. I took it off.
I know, which I appreciate you, but
I almost bought a Yankees hat the other day too.
I would have ended the show. That would have been the end of the show.
But
that would have been the end of the show.
Would you have jumped through my Zoom link and killed him?
I'm not even talking about this show. I would have ended between two beards. That would be the end of everything.
I said to myself, I was like, if I buy this hat, I'm not going to be able to wear it Thursday nights.
You're not even going to be able to tell me you own it because I would look at you differently.
It was kind of nice. It was a nice one too.
It's not about how nice it looks. It's about that filthy logo in the middle of it.
Yeah, I have a dress code on
in this direction.
I forgot I had the Lakers hat on today. Honestly, that was just a mistake on my part. I wasn't paying attention because I was doing some running around and had some family over, so I was just threw something on. But I get that. So, but success, like, just an overall concept. Success is what you make it, and flip it to JPJ for me.
Oh, well done, man. I was just going to ask you that.
You're going to ask me? That he is so, like, I don't know where I would be without him. I know he says that too, but like, what makes us work so well together is he is so knowledgeable about all this stuff, and I'm really not. Like, I'm not as in depth as he is, so we have a perfect like yin and yang balance. Like, he shows up with all the notes, right? He knows everything that happened in every single match. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, he makes me want to be better in the sense of like, I want to have better notes, and that's why I started doing some of this solo stuff, because he's really good at that kind of stuff. And I, for a long time, felt maybe I'm just good with like me and him, like maybe I don't know who my voice is without him. So I was like, man, I'm going to try to get to the level because I want to be able to carry a show. Because I can tell you the first couple times this man went on vacation, I was scared shitless on how I was going to run those shows. I was like, oh God, this is where he pushes the buttons on the StreamYard. And I'm like, oh, this is where we're supposed to do this. And this is how this is supposed to, he'll reel me in real quick so that we can keep the flow of a show going. And it's an amazing quality to have. Like I said, I think he said that he's, essential to, I'm essential to him. He's essential to me. I don't think that I would be at this level without getting to work with him every week and being able to do the things that I've gotten to do. Like that first time I went to WrestlePalooza, when I went to WrestlePalooza and did the interview runs by myself, that's the first time I did those without him. I even texted him. I was like, this is weird, man. Like, because I'm like, I have to be able to carry this 5-minute interview without being able to bounce something off of him, or these have to be just like my ideas, right? So he's essential to me, and I appreciate that. Like, he brings a different vibe, and he's got his ideas, or he can take my ideas and refine them. Like, it's a good partnership, man. We got a good partnership, Tom. He's successful. I don't know how he defines success, but I would say, coming from where we started, like we're very successful in this space. We want to keep growing, but we definitely should look back on what we've done in the first 5 years and be super proud of it.
Oh yeah.
That's really
like
cool.
It's crazy to think what we got to do.
Yeah.
Just
what
a couple
do you
of
think
dudes.
Each other's legacy is? Like, what do you think Pluggo's legacy is, Jay, and vice versa?
I mean, I feel like legacy's tough because I still think, even though we've been doing it for 5 years, we're still relatively babies in the space. You know what I mean? There's a lot of successful people, some of which we are lucky enough to call friends, that have been doing it for a lot longer. And like Pluggo says, like, we do want to keep growing. Like, we are very proud of the work we've done, but I don't think either of us are content to just kind of stay like this. Like, we're always kind of thinking about what goes this way, which is why I think we vibe a lot as well, because we have similar, like, this is where we want to go. This is what I would like our legacy to be, if you asked me 10 years from now, the greatest of all time.
I knew he was going to say that too.
The greatest of all time.
I
don't know if I can, because I just feel like even though we've been doing it for a long time, I still feel like we've scratched that. We haven't truly scratched the surface of what we can do, even though we've done a lot of cool shit. Yeah. And so, like, I think it's hard to answer that now because we're still in the middle of it, or even towards the beginning of it. So it's hard to answer. But I think, hearing the things that you say and hearing the things that other people say when they've been on our show or after our show, or when we come up in conversation, somehow people talk about us, like hearing our peers and Spencer and the people that are bosses and our peers say the things that we've been lucky enough to hear them say over the last 5 years. Yeah. I think that's the legacy there. Like, I don't know if I can speak to it personally, even though I love me some me. Yeah. And us some us. Like, I think hearing and seeing what other people we look up to, people that we still are trying to catch and achieve what they've achieved, I feel like hearing them say the nice things that they do whenever they do, I think that speaks to our legacy more than anything I can say.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, for me, on the so I kind of look at it like this. Like, let's say 30 years from now, if we're still doing this, good on us. But and we look back on it, I just want people to look, if they look back on us as a group, as a duo, and just go, those dudes, they did it. And as cliche as it sounds, they did it their way. Like, they were fun, they were cool, they were respectful and nice. Like, when we did the first run together, and I remember JPJ, I remember this conversation. We did the Cleveland run together. We sat there 2 nights, the Thursday night before, and we had the interview list in our hand, and we were talking about, like, who's going to do who's going to talk to who. And then we were both sitting there, and we were like, instead of fighting about it, what if we did it together? What if we just did Between Two Beards? And there was some, like, apprehension of, like, would they be cool with that? Would, like, they let us do that? Does it have to be a solo interview? But it would be something that nobody else was doing. And we went ahead and we ran with it after getting some advice. We ran with it and got nothing but praise for that. Right. Like we had the people that ran that interview came up to us and said, you guys did a great job. The wrestlers seemed to really enjoy it. It was a different vibe. You guys, so that's what we want to be like remembered for. Like we did it our way. We did it different than everybody else in the sense that like we were willing to take a swing and try things. And those guys were pretty cool. And yeah, that we were the greatest of all time as JPJs. No, I just want the respect of the people that we work with to go, you know what, JPJ and Pluggo, those dudes are solid. They're going to knock it out of the park, anything you give them. And hopefully that's the good legacy that we leave on this crazy mark that is wrestling content. Leave it better than you found it. That's what we want to do.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah. No, that's it. I was just nodding in agreement.
That's a beautiful way to end this, if I'm honest, guys. But before we do, I'm curious to know if this segment's going to work. But there you go. We're going to do the segment of generic wrestling questions, but we're going to do it in a way that, do you two know each other's answers?
This ain't going to work.
This ain't going to work. Okay.
No, I mean, the segment will work. No, the segment will work, but we are going to get everything wrong.
No worries. Let's
speak for yourself. I'm getting it all right, dude.
Everyone's going to see, like, wow, JPJ's a jerk. Didn't know anything about Pluggo.
Interviews before. Although, as well, I normally ask people their favorite match, their favorite pay-per-view card, such as etc., their favorite wrestler's entrance theme, favorite tag team, and favorite wrestler. But this time we're going to do it. So, does Pluggo know Jay's answer, and vice versa? So let's start with you, Pluggo. What do you think JPJ's favorite match is?
Oh man, why does the first thing that pops into my head is Bret Hart Stone Cold for WrestleMania? Is that it?
That is correct.
Oh, hey! I was gonna say my answer for yours too, but I don't think you thought that was as good as mine.
I don't know if I know this of Pluggo's, but I think it's John Cena and CM Punk for Money in the Bank 2011. But that could be wrong.
Have you two watched my show? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No.
Never seen this. What is this? Tom Talks.
No, what I'm saying is there's a segment on here. You two have probably watched this, to be fair. Anywho, what about each other's favorite pay-per-view? What do you think Pluggo's is, JPJ?
Favorite pay-per-view?
Overall pay-per-view card.
Oh my God, that's tough. That's tough.
That's tough for me.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get this one. I feel like, do you just pick one of the big ones because it's one of the big ones and you can just hopefully be okay? This is probably going to be wrong, but I'll go WrestleMania 19. That's wrong. 1,000%.
I don't even know the answer to this one.
Yeah, this is tough.
I think I stuck with I can't remember what I answered last time I was here. That Money in the Bank card was
to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a wash. I WrestleMania 19 might have been great. I don't know. I feel like JPJ's is somewhere in Boston.
No. Well, I mean, I did go to I went to WrestleMania 14 where Stone Cold, the reign of Stone Cold started. So like personally, that's my favorite. But it's a hard question. There's been a lot of great ones, but NXT Brooklyn with Sasha and Bailey and the Kevin Owens Finn Balor ladder match. I got to go to NXT in San Antonio where Shinsuke debuted against Sami Zayn, and that had the great Revival and American Alpha match, and Asuka beat Bailey for the title, and it was Samoa Joe and Finn. That's a good one too. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Shoot. So what are we saying for pay-per-view, Jed? Just because I need pictures and what have you.
My favorite show, I would say my favorite show of all time is probably WrestleMania 17. My favorite of all time.
Great Balls of Fire.
Oh my God. He's not being
here we go again.
Roadblock.
Hey, look, that had a great Dean Ambrose Triple H match. That match was great.
Stomping ground.
Yeah, that was a great
What's the
match.
one where the Miz got attacked by zombies? That pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, that was in the Dome, right? Was that Backlash?
WrestleMania Backlash, I believe.
Was that WrestleMania Backlash on the Thunderdome?
Yeah, dude. It's the only bad spot on that pay-per-view, dude.
Yeah. Listen, obviously it's a time we don't like to go back to for obvious reasons, but I feel like there was some good wrestling in there that I feel like we probably don't go back and think about as much because of just how terrible it was. Just and not the wrestling, but
WCW and NWO sold out.
I feel like he's being facetious now, and I'm just
He is.
Well, do you know each other's favorite wrestler's entrance theme?
I know his favorite wrestler, but I don't know if it's necessarily his favorite wrestler theme.
I mean, Cult of Personality is pretty good. Yeah. So I would.
Isn't that the same for both of you?
No, but I was going to guess Cult of Personality for him. Yeah. He can guess for me though.
That's wrestling. Oh, is it recent or is it old? All time.
It's all time. Cool. It's all time. It's old school, but the guy is still very, very heavily involved in wrestling. But it's probably the theme of his that I think is the best. But he's had like 5 really.
Is it Triple H? Like
my time. It's my time.
Okay.
My time.
I was gonna say King of Kings for some reason. But
that's a great one. That's a great. All of them. I actually think
he's really good. He's got.
I think Evolution's theme is a top theme of all time, but My Time, 1, 2, this on that whole thing to me, I think is his as an individual. That is his best theme.
There you go.
That's really cool. Okay. Do you know each other's favorite tag team?
Ooh, this is going to be an old school one.
Between Two Beards.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Between Two Beards.
I like that.
Oddly enough, though, for me, we actually got to see them retire. The Dudleys were always my favorite.
Oh yeah.
The Dudleys Hardleys retirement match.
I was a big ECW kid in the 90s. I was a big ECW kid, so the Dudleys in that era of those 3 tag team, the Dudleys were always my team. So
I have no idea who my favorite tag team is. I like the Usos. I like the New Day.
When I was a kid, though, loved the Hart Foundation.
Yeah, you could go real old school there, yeah. The Harlem Heat. WCW, baby.
Yeah.
So for you, Pluggo, just because I need a picture, we're going Harlem Heat?
Yeah, why not? They're pretty good. I'm trying to think. I did like I like the Outsiders, Hall and Nash too. I think big time WCW guys. So those guys were cool back in the day as well. Yeah,
that was really, really cool. And then finally, guys, the biggest generic question of all time: do you know each other's favorite wrestlers of all time?
Yeah, his is Marco Stunt.
No,
yeah, dude.
I mean, he's up there. No, CM Punk. His favorite is
CM Punk is my goat. My goat. Why do I feel like I know yours, but I feel like it's not Andre the Giant because he's right.
No, I love Andre the Giant, but no. I have a 1 and 1A basically. So if you say either, I'll probably accept it.
1 and 1A. It's not Cena.
No.
Why do I should know this?
Older. You know me, I'm old.
That's right. You're Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's correct. It's him or Stone Cold. They're like
that's right. Yeah.
They're like interchangeable to me. Stone Cold was the most essential pro wrestler to my fandom because I was like an early teen when he became. So like he was like the guy that took me to the next level of being a wrestling fan. But when I first started watching wrestling as a youngster, the Macho Man was my dude from the onset. Like for the onset, in my opinion, the greatest of all time.
That's really, really cool. Yeah, as we wrap this up, guys, obviously I want to say thank you for coming back on. Thank you for a great conversation. But the question I normally end this show on is, I believe, as YouTubers, podcasters, even just with some people with some good old social media, we're all sort of going to live forever in a very, very strange way if you think about the world. So what is one piece of content you want JPJ to be remembered for, Pluggo, and vice versa, JPJ? What is one piece of content you want to be remembered for?
I mean, listen, Between Two Beards, baby.
I thought you'd say that.
I mean, there's no other.
Well, yeah. But if we were going to break it down to a specific piece of content that I want JPJ to be remembered for, it's the Paul O'Neill. It's the Paul O'Neill rant.
Yes.
Paul O'Neill rant.
Yeah.
What's that?
Because that literally came out of left field, no pun intended.
7 minutes. I went 7 minutes on.
Paul O'Neill. Just mentioned.
No, he's a Yankee.
We were talking about anything but that, and somehow got on the topic of Paul O'Neill, and he went off for 7+ minutes.
It is on the social media. You can find
it.
It's somewhere on socials. But I go
that or him bussing the tables at Top Golf in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's
I heard about this.
That's pretty good. They didn't pay me either. Didn't even give me a free drink. Unbelievable.
Didn't even get a free round of golf balls or nothing.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yes, the right answer is between two beards, 100%.
Yes. I'm trying to think of I always find it funny how nervous Gunther made Pluggo.
Oh, I've seen
at the beginning of our interview with him. He's a very intimidating fella. Very intimidating fella. But I have never seen Pluggo. I have never seen Pluggo look out of his element ever, except when the red light went on the first minute or so with Gunther. I could tell that Gunther kind of stood up and was like, you could tell he was in character and stoic the whole time, even when we were trying to just be friendly before we went live. But I could tell that when the camera went on, Gunther kind of turned into Gunther a little bit more.
Yeah, looked me in the eyes.
Pluggo was intimidated.
Oh, I love that. That's brilliant. Yeah. As we wrap this up, guys, please promote yourself. Where can the good people find you, your work, etc.?
He does that best, so I will let him do that.
Well, I'm Pluggo. You search Pluggo. I'm on all social media platforms. Us together, Between Two Beards, every Thursday night over at Love Wrestling CA on all their socials. On YouTube at Love Wrestling CA, you'll find us. If you want to know what we got going on as a show, who's coming on, what's coming up, at B2Beards on all social media platforms. That's where you can find everything that happens with us as a show. And then if you want more from me, I do 4 exposures JPJ talked about earlier on Love Wrestling as well with Blair Saturday evening, afternoon, some point on Saturdays at 4 Exposure Pod.
Yeah. And you can follow me, JPJ Loves Gaming, on all social media platforms. I usually release my schedule on Monday mornings. And besides Thursday nights, where you should be every night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I do a Raw watch-along over on the Hive Media every Monday for Raw. I do a post show on Body Slam after Raw and after Dynamite over there a couple times a week. But if you follow me on socials, you'll kind of see my schedule and you can see where I am. And then I stream video games on Twitch whenever I can. So
it's well worth doing, guys. 2 of the hardest working people in this space, but 2 of the nicest as well. So if you guys like this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Tom Talks Rubbish on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, or can I still do it? It's been a while. Or and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye now.
Thanks for watching this Tom Talks Rubbish conversation. Before you go, please make sure you leave a like on the video, share it around, and subscribe to Tom Talks Rubbish on YouTube, as well as follow Tom Talks Rubbish on Twitter/X.